Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into the really compelling early days of the USS Arawyn. It's a brand new Starfleet ship just starting out.
Right. And we got some great accounts, some logs and reports that show how this crew, really diverse group, handled everything thrown at them.
Yeah, from like personal stuff settling in right up to a sudden, pretty violent crisis. It's all about how they came together under pressure.
You really get to see how a new ship, a new crew, sort of finds its footing when things get tough.
So the setting is this state-of-the-art Sovereign-class starship, huge vessel, just embarking on its first mission.
Yeah, top of the line, filled with fresh faces straight from the academy, but also, seasoned officers. Everyone's ready for a routine shakedown cruise, or, well, that's what they thought.
So beyond the advanced tech and the shiny corridors, what were those first moments, the human ones? That started to define the era when it seems to start somewhere kind of unexpected. Sick bay.
It does, yeah. With the chief medical officer, Dr. Rhea Amberlin.
And?
Maybe her smallest patient ever, Bailey, a tiny kitten.
A kitten? Seriously. Yeah. Found abandoned.
Yeah, and with a cleft palate. So, a serious condition. And this, I think, is key. It wasn't just about being kind. Dr. Amberlin's response, well, it set a tone.
How so?
Well, the easy path would have been euthanasia. But she immediately ordered a warming lamp, infant IV fluids, antibiotics.
Right.
Even planned the surgery needed later to repair the palate.
Wow.
Right. By taking that harder path, the humane one, she kind of established this core principle for the whole ship, maybe without even realizing it, that, on the Arawyn, every life mattered, even before the first big crisis hit.
That's a powerful start. And from that, you see other, more relatable new start moments, like the ensigns.
Oh, yeah. Mira Quinn and Vilza Dale. Fresh out of the academy. And they literally get lost wandering the corridors on their first day.
Happens to the best of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Though maybe not usually on a ship that size. What does that tell us?
It just grounds it. That feeling of being overwhelmed in a new place, it makes them relatable. And this sense of newness went right to the top.
You mean Captain Corbin and her XO, Adrian Holt?
Exactly. They were still building that command relationship, establishing trust. The captain even mentioned her commissioning speech. She felt like she was speaking to family.
So those little connections were already starting to form, building that crew culture.
Precisely. Weaving things together before the real test.
Okay, so the test comes pretty quick, doesn't it? Their first operational run, a seemingly routine escort mission.
Right. They're escorting some science and medical ships. The Curie, Newton, Ardent, along a standard navigational buoy corridor. Should be simple.
But then, boom, one of those navigational buoys just detonates violently.
Violently. And this is where it gets really interesting. It wasn't just some malfunction. Ensign Mira Quinn, remember one of the new ones?
The one who got lost.
That's her. She's on night watch. And she spots something just milliseconds before the explosion. A gravimetric spike.
Like a gravity distortion.
Yeah, localized.
Yeah.
And a phase variance, sort of an energy flicker signature. Tiny clues, but enough to scream deliberate. This was an attack. Calculated.
Okay, red alert. How does this brand new crew, still figuring each other out, respond to that? A sudden attack, casualties?
Well, the crisis forced their hand, didn't it? It demanded instant collaboration. Dr. Amberlin's sickbay, for instance, immediately starts getting casualties from the USS Newton, which was damaged in the blast.
Serious injury.
Oh, yeah. Severe head trauma, a bad burn victim. But here's where the medical ingenuity kicks in. They use a dermal regenerator.
Right, advanced tech, heals skin quickly.
Very quickly. Healed those severe burns completely, no scarring, in just 3 treatments. Incredible. And you hear from Nurse Clara Barton in her logs. She felt like she'd, quote, waded into the deep end.
Understandable.
Yeah, but she also felt she was finding her place right there in the middle of that intensity. It shows that personal growth, under fire.
Meanwhile, what's happening with the damaged ships? The Newton took a hit.
Big hit to one of its nacelles. And this task falls to engineering, specifically Ensign Ryan Collingway, another new officer.
And he's got his own baggage, right? Something about a past trauma.
Yeah, from a Borg encounter. Pretty heavy stuff. And you see it affect him. There's a moment during the repairs, a power flicker on the Newton, and it triggers a brief, traumatic flashback for him.
Oh, wow. How did he handle that?
He pushed through, showed incredible resilience, stayed focused, used his skills despite that internal struggle, and managed to get the Newton's nacelle back up to 86% efficiency in just a few hours.
That's impressive, dealing with the tech in his own past, right there.
It really highlights the kind of strength needed out there. It's not just about knowing the systems.
Okay, so medical's handling casualties, engineering's fixing ships. What about finding out who did this? And stopping them from doing it again? That's Intel's job.
Exactly. Intelligence contractor Gareth Reese and specialist Tara. They dive into the sensor data from the explosion.
And what do they find?
They methodically analyze it. It wasn't just random debris. They confirm it was deliberate, using something called Vathari mining ordnance.
Mining explosives. Used as a weapon.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Rigged for remote detonation. So now they know what and how, but they need a plan. Fast. They can't just sit there waiting for another attack.
So they come up with a strategy.
A really clever one. They call it the convoy of shadows. Basically, using decoys, staggering the ship formations, they called it split the deck, to make the convoy harder to target. Confuse any potential attackers.
Like shuffling cards.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gareth Reese takes his ship, the Long Haul, and sweeps the rear flank, listening for any cloaked ships, any faint engine whispers, turning defense into, well, a kind of illusion. Proactive.
So when you pull all these pieces together, the kitten, the lost ensigns, the attack, the response, what's the big takeaway here? How did the Arawyn really find its stride so quickly?
Well, what's really striking, I think, is how these different challenges, from the tiny and personal to the sudden and violent, they didn't just test the crew. They revealed something fundamental.
Which was?
That the Arawyn's advanced technology, all that sovereign-class power, it was just a tool. The real strength, the soul of the ship, if you like, was forged right there in those unexpected moments.
Human connection, even animal connection with Bailey.
Exactly. And shared values under pressure. That's what makes a real crew, a real family. Not just sharing quarters, but facing the fire together.
It's an amazing look at how it all started. This dive really shows their technical skill, sure, but also their humanity, their strategy, their collective spirit, maybe.
I think so. And it definitely leaves you wondering, doesn't it? In that vastness of space, with all its uncertainties, what other challenges are out there waiting for this burgeoning family?
Right. And how are they going to keep innovating, keep adapting, keep facing it all together? That's the question.